Nitrogen released from cover crops isn't always what you think, especially in the northern plains. In this week's Soil Health Minute, Abbey, Wick takes us to NDSU plots where they're measuring how much nitrogen is taken up by cover crops and when the nitrogen becomes available to cash crops.
Over the past several years, NDSU soil specialist Dave Franzen has been working on nitrogen uptake by cover crops and release to the following cash crops. I'm here at the Gardner site, which has been recently converted to no-till in the last 3 years. I'm in the wheat plots here, but we also have a soybean and a corn plot as well, where we're including cover crops in each part of the rotation. At our Rutland site, we have a similar setup, but on that site, we're looking at long-term no-till soils and also a 20-plus year use of cover crops in rotation. There are three main things that we're learning from these sites. Number one is that we relied so heavily on carbon to nitrogen ratios to tell us about how quickly those cover crops will release nitrogen to the following crop. And we're not necessarily seeing that as being an important component in this system. For example, all our cover crops have a seed-end ratio of 18:1, which means that it should be releasing nitrogen to corn the following year. However, it's not doing that. But this is not uncommon. Several other researchers are finding this as well, where cover crops are taking up nitrogen, but they're not releasing it the following year. So what we need to figure out now is where is that nitrogen and when is it going to be released? And that's what Dave is working on between our Gardner and our Rutland sites over the next couple years. So the moral of the story here is to keep applying nitrogen at recommended rates until we understand more about where that nitrogen is being held and when it might be released. You can find more detailed information on this in Dave Franzen's article in the Crop and Pest Report. There's a link to that report on the NDSU Soil Health webpage.